whole series live as the New York Yankees and the Atlanta Braves meet in the World Series.
Exclusively live, Game 3, Wednesday morning at 10, Fox Sports.
It's the ultimate.
To celebrate Australia's tour of Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe, Fox Sports and Nissan give you the chance to win a fabulous new Nissan Pulsar Plus. Simply call this number and you could win the car that's weighed down with extras. The Pulsar Plus has air conditioning, a CD player, central locking, keyless entry, and a driver's side airbag. Plus alloy wheels, plus a rear spoiler. There are also 2 consolation prizes up for grabs. Our 2 runners-up will each receive an official Foxtel Tour cricket bag, signed by the whole Australian team. For your chance at a Nissan Pulsar Plus, call 1900 966 362 now. Calls cost 50 cents and the competition closes at 6 a.m. Monday the 25th of October.
9 live Premier League games along with the big clash between Manchester United and Palmeiras. Unprecedented soccer coverage on Fox Sports in November.
Australia 1 over into their innings. That first over was a maiden, so Adam Gilchrist will face David Mutindera, who is going to operate from the City end. Gilchrist has played 76 matches in a one-day international career that's featured 500s, and he has really taken to this role as an opening batsman. Keeps wicket. This could be close. Safely home. So Gilchrist's off the mark, as are Australia. Pitched up, Ponting drives, and beautifully fielded by Madondu. Diving to his left at mid-off. The crowd appreciating this game of cricket now. Zimbabwe really taking it to Australia.
A lovely shot from Ponting there. Cover drive, and Trevor Madondu dives full stretch left-handed and cuts off the boundary. Wonderful bit of fielding from the young man.
Zimbabwe giving it 100% to a man. Beautiful bowling, just wide of second slip. John Rennie can't prevent a second run. Very quick between the wickets, Gilchrist and Ponting.
So Mutindera batting to get Gilchrist, just get the ball, getting the ball to leave the outside edge, hitting the outside edge and just going wide of Alistair Campbell at second slip, and John Rennie cuts off the boundary.
That's hit over the top. Not well, didn't go that far over mid-off's head, but hit well enough to bring about 4 runs. Grant Flower fielding there at mid-off. Gilchrist on the front foot lofting, but didn't really middle it.
Grant Flower just giving chase, but just clearing his head, and he gives chase. But 4 more to the total. Australia move on to 11 without loss. Gilchrist on 7.
That ball on leg stump and turned fine. There's no one there. Fine leg fieldsman, very, very square. And that boundary has gone where you would typically expect a fine leg to be in position. And the area is vacant. So 4 runs to Gilchrist.
I'm pretty sure that Alistair Campbell recalls yesterday where Mutindera, with the last delivery of each of his first couple of overs, he dropped it in short. And he's got Gary Brent sort of covering that hook shot, but really he's left this fine leg very open, and it is still open.
That ball short, and Gilchrist pulls as he did yesterday. Very quick to get on the back foot. And 4 more through mid-wicket. So 13 runs from that over. Very, very expensive. Australia 19 without loss. John Rennie continuing from the golf course end to Gilchrist. Rennie hasn't bowled terribly much to Adam Gilchrist. He's had to contend with the right-hander Ponting most of the time to date. That ball quite close and bouncing a bit on Gilchrist. He looked to hit on the up and it just got a bit big on him. Play that ball very high on the blade. Australia still 174 runs away, but 10 wickets in hand, and make that 170 runs away from their victory target. That ball pitched up, and Gilchrist, beautiful flowing cover drive. Nice swing of the bat through the line of the ball and through the gap for 4.
Just a well pitched up half volley outside of stump, and Adam Gilchrist, he will not lose out on a delivery like that, and smashes it through cover boundary, and he moves on at 20. 4 4s in that fine knock so far.
Now that's pitched up, it's straight and it's driven. And you won't see a better straight drive than that, or too many straighter ones for that matter. A glorious shot by Adam Gilchrist.
Look at this for magnificent timing. Beautiful straight drive. John Rennie has got no chance of getting a foot or a hand to it as it whizzes past him, and also nearly takes out umpire Robinson and races to the boundary for 4. And Australia requiring 166. Now that run rate coming down a little from 4 down to 3.8.
Pitched up again on leg stump. This time Gilchrist hits over the onside through mid-wicket, and that will be another boundary. So 3 boundaries off that over. 12 runs in total, of course. 39 without loss, Australia. And a flurry of boundaries in recent overs. That's the most recent boundary. In fact, the last ball of John Rennie's over, and Gilchrist quietly stroking it over the mid-wicket field. 39 without loss, Australia, scoring now at roughly 5.5 and over. And more runs. That is beautifully placed square of the wicket through the gap. It'll be close. And another 4.
A lovely square drive by Ricky Ponting, finding the gap. Beautifully timed shot, and Andy Whittle gives chase, but even with his long legs, he's got no chance of cutting it off. And Ponting moves his total on to 13.
So bowling a dot ball to Ricky Ponting becomes a very difficult thing to achieve. And there's an edge, and he's gone. A wicket to Mutindera. Gilchrist similarly looking to hit on the up, but this wicket with a bit of pace and bounce, and just a little sideways movement there from Mutindera. Gilchrist only found the edge of his bat, and a wicket to Flower, a breakthrough to Zimbabwe.
So just what we were saying, Zimbabwe requiring a wicket, and Gilchrist just getting a faint outside edge. Andy Flower takes a simple catch. Mutindera is excited. That's his second one-day international wicket. So Adam Gilchrist caught Andy Flower, bowled Mutindera for 28. Australia 44 for 1.
The very, very experienced Michael Bevan comes to the crease, a left-hander replacing the dismissed left-hander Adam Gilchrist. Michael Bevan 122 matches and an average of 59.2. Call it 60, and a scoring rate 4.6 runs per 6 balls faced, 300s, 26 50s, and ranked the #1 one-day batsman in the world. Mutindera just collecting the stumps there as he bowled that delivery, and that knocked him off balance and resulted in a wide. This is the wicket. Mutindera bowling to Gilchrist. Gilchrist looking to hit it on the up square of the wicket, just able to get a faint edge. And through to keeper Flower. He didn't wait for the decision.
And that has gone to the rural area. Right into the country zone. It has gone. What a shot from Ponting. He's a lovely hooker of the ball. Doesn't always want to hook in the air, but on that occasion, no problems.
Well, inexperienced Blickner bangs this in short. Plenty of time for the batsman just to pull that away. And I thought Madondo thought he was in with a chance for a while, but the ball just sailed over his head on the boundary.
Didn't quite get it, Ponting, but it's quite a long boundary down there, hitting with the breeze. 57 for 1 off 70 deliveries, the Australians, chasing 201. And that's 4. You bowl short and wide to Ricky Ponting at what can only be regarded as medium pace, then you are in a lot of trouble.
This is a glorious square cut. Width offered. Just rolled his wrists and there was no need to run. From the moment it left the bat, it's 4 runs all the way. Superb balance, giving himself a bit of room, just moving away to the leg side.
Second boundary, and that 6 over backward square leg. Australia plays Pakistan next Friday week I should say, November the 5th. And they may well be coachless because Alan Border is the interim coach at the moment, as you said, Des. But he and his 3 brothers, so the 4 Stooges, are going to England tomorrow to watch the remainder of the World Cup rugby, which Australia will probably romp in. They've got tickets for a couple of semi-finals, the playoff and the final at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. And Ricky Ponting hits yet another boundary. He is in pretty special form, Ricky Ponting, at the moment. 1 through the offside and then 1 through the onside.
Well, Mutondera again straying, wasn't too far, just on about middle and leg, and an effortless stroke here from Ponting. Head well over the ball, superbly balanced, and just whipped it away with the wrists through mid-wicket for 4.
Australia's board don't meet, cricket board, until the day after the first test, when they, I would assume, announce the new coach. So Australia may go into the test match without a coach. Some old-timers there have suggested that the Australian team coach is what the players ride around in. But the game has passed those old-timers.
Yeah, it's a really demanding job these days with all the travelling and the pressures of international cricket. But of course, job made perhaps a little bit easier by the fact that the coach would be coaching one of the best teams, or the best, arguably the best team in the world. But very tough on the family life.
That's what Michael Bevan does well. He hits very square on the leg side. Sometimes even balls on off stump go to square leg. For some reason he's got that habit. Doesn't look very good at times. This one's not quite so bad because the ball is more or less on middle to leg stump. There will be times during his innings where he pushes at the ball and it goes to square leg. Certainly allows him to get easy singles, but it must give the bowlers an immense deal of thought that they can get him out. And he's done it again. So Ricky Ponting's scoring chart is going to be spanked with boundaries all around the oval. So at the end of the 12th over, Australia going along quite nicely, 71 for 1. And that's the problem with having your second man catching in a gully on the leg side. If you don't get it right, then it can easily go past towards the boundary. And Brent does well. But the 2 speeds to still get 3. And not even a puff from Ricky Ponting.
Well, a good effort from Gary Brent. Just clipped off, hit past the leg gully, much to the frustration of Whittle. And Gary Brent had a long way to go to his left. Acrobatic dive. Stops it with his left arm, in fact, and loses his glasses as he makes the return into Andy Flower.
That's a nick.
Dropped just short of Johnson. Had slipped this one. Nice leg cutter from Andy Blignode. Just pushed at it, did Ponting, and it just came short of Neil Johnson at first slip. He's at a wideish slip, in fact probably more at a second slip position, just couldn't quite scoop it. So Ponting fortunate on that occasion. It's very full, but right on Ponting's toes, and that's bread and butter. Put away for 4. Beautiful shot.
Well, Ricky Ponting must think it's Christmas, the number of scoring opportunities he's getting here. Full toss on leg stump. This started out yesterday morning being heavily in favour of the bowler this wicket. But turn around it has.
Ponting looking for the quick single to get his 50. Grant Flower very quick in from mid-wicket.
Yes, Ponting aware of that, as is Bevan. Better to be 49 not out than 49 out, but that does it for him. Brings up his 50, and it's been a very well put together innings so far by Ricky Ponting. He's had plenty of scoring opportunities, but he has made the most of them, and he's been able to play shots on both sides of the wicket and off the front and back foot.
Andy Whittle to Ricky Ponting. This one put away very fine. There was a bit of turn there. It's gone past Johnson, who's a bit laboured in the run, and therefore the Australians will get 3. Just looks as though Johnson's groin troubling him as he ran for that. Probably stiffened up a bit. Nice shot from Ricky Ponting. Just a little tickle, and he's got it so fine Johnson can't get to it. Hands on head from Andy Whittle, because there was turn there, but turning from too close to the stumps on line of middle to leg stump. There's another one that's turned. That's a beautiful delivery. This time to the left-hander. He's got the edge, but he's going to get 4 probably. I have a feeling that John Rennie was touching ropes when he touched the ball, and I've got no doubt the umpires will call for a replay of that.
Yes, this delivery completely beat Bevan. In fact, with a slip in position, that may well have been a dismissal. Good turn, as we saw Warne turn some this morning. This is the situation, and clearly a 4.
And Gary Brent has started with a very good first over, and his first ball of his second over is a dot ball, and he plays a beautiful shot through the covers there. Grant Flower gives chase. He'll cut it off from the boundary, but they'll turn and get back for 3. Throws to the bowler's end, straight over the top of the stumps. So lovely shot once again, and Australia move on to 108. So lovely shot through the covers by Michael Bevan, off the back foot, and beautifully placed.
Well, Andy Flower now standing up to the stumps to Gary Brent. Just dabs that down. Typical one-day shot down to third man. Mutundera does the fielding. And Andy Flower's obviously come up, as he did in Bulawayo, got 2 very good stumpings to prevent Ponting and Bevan from going down the wicket.
Now Johnson in at a shortish cover, really.
Gives himself room, and he's got that one away. That could run all the way, it has. So a superb shot from Bevan, just giving himself room. Elegantly square cut for 4. Into their 24th over, and Australia 114 for 1. Oh, he's got that away. It's not going to go all the way. 1 bounce 4 over the vacant mid-wicket area. So Ponting continues the charge.
That was a lovely shot from Ponting. He's unleashed the shackles and just smashes that one over mid-wicket. And you just see that ball just bouncing just short of the ropes. and over the ropes for 4, and that takes Ponting on to 59. Michael Bevan on 20, Australia 118 for 1.
He just gave himself room and dabbed that down to third man. They only get 1 down to Mutendera.
And Ricky Ponting, we look at his wagon wheel. Yeah, look at the leg side there. 26 just in front of square, 2 4s and a 6, 10 behind square. So majority of his runs coming on the leg side.
Oh, well stopped. Great stop. Just having a look to see who that was. That's Murray Goodwin. Just going down to his left. Into the over, 120 for 1.
But Brent to Bevan.
That is a glorious shot. 4 runs from the moment it left the bat. Michael Bevan showing his class, punishing that short delivery from Gary Brent.
Now this is a great shot from Bevan. Just rocks under the back foot, and just look at that. Just dissects cover point, and it races to the boundary for 4. Beautiful shot.
That's in the way, it swung away over mid-wicket. It might run all the way. Will it win the chase? It does. Rennie can't get there. So 4 runs to Michael Bevan.
Michael Bevan just chipping this over mid-wicket, and fortunately for him, it actually bounces on the B wicket here at Harare Sports Club and accelerates off that hard turf and races to the boundary. The area around that is pretty soft and would be like a 9-iron shot and just stops. So Bevan moves on to 40.
That's a better delivery. Again, not a convincing shot. They're going to go through for a single down to Mutendera. And Dennis, you must be quite happy as a selector with one of the positive aspects of the series, one-day series against the Australians, is probably the performance of some of the new boys, just adding depth to Zimbabwe cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of pressure. As Gary Brent comes in to Ponting.
Slower delivery. Ponting just comes down the wicket. Into the 29th over. Australia 139 for 1. And he smashed that through the covers. That's a glorious stroke from Michael Bevan. Had all the time in the world, just picked his spot. Bevan now moves on to 45.
Second delivery from John Rennie in this spell, just erring on the width, and Michael Bevan, he just smashes that through the cover point region, races to the boundary, and he moves on to 45.
Well, partnership's worth 99 now, so these two have done well for their side. Bevan, of course, not accustomed to batting at number 3, but a wonderful one-day player. Patient innings. Both of them have faced 80 deliveries. That's interesting. So far more restraint shown by Michael Bevan. Whipped away this time through mid-wicket. 3 players descend on it. Who gets there first? The ball beats the lot. So 4 runs it is.
Good shot from Michael Bevan, just whipping it off the pads, finding the gap, and great effort there from Gary Brent, giving chase all the way to the end and diving, but to no avail.
Well, that's a 100 partnership, 103 runs. Those are the contributions. Exactly the same. The crowd's catch. Grant Flower. So Bevan now one short of that half century.
Michael Bevan just hitting that into the ground, and the crowd thinking that that was a catch by Grant Flower. Well fielded there by Grant Flower. Rennie to Bevan.
There it is. There's his 50. They canter through for an easy 2. So Bevan just acknowledging the applause from the dressing room and the crowd here at Harare Sports Club. Into the 30th over. Australia now very comfortably placed at 149 for 1.
Monday on Fox Sports 2 from 3 in the afternoon. Join us for 5 hours of World Cup Rugby quarter-final action. Then at 8 o'clock, motorcycle racing with all 3 classes of the World Championships from Brazil.
Nickelodeon's Beaver Speak, your guide to understanding the Angry Beaver's unique language style.
The grandeur that is Beavois.
The beaver, specifically a Norb or Dag type beaver. Furry little aquatic rodents. The sound your sibling's favorite thing makes as it's flushed to the great unknown.
Tis the pianissimo of our problems,
We'll get back to you. For more useful tips on beaver bits, watch our Angry Beavers, weekends at 6 on the channel the beavers call home, Nickelodeon.
Terrifico! The best golfing action right here on Fox Sports. One of the USPGA's most prestigious tournaments has arrived, the Tour Championship. From the Champions Golf Club, Houston, Texas, comes the finest array of golfing talent, all competing for a record prize pool of $5 million. Live and exclusive, the Tour Championship starts Friday morning at 5, Fox Sports. This weekend on Fox Sports, hang on tight as the 125s, the 250s and the 500s tear up the track in the final Grand Prix of the year from Buenos Aires live. The top 30 players of the USPGA money list tee off for the season-ending Tour Championship. Live and exclusive. Coventry take on Watford in the English Premier League, plus the pick of the Saturday games. Exclusively live. And it's crunch time in the Rugby World Cup with full match coverage of both semi-finals. This weekend on Fox Sports.
83 balls, 6 fours in that 51 from Michael Bevan. As Gary Brent continues. Big roar just now around the ground, obviously related to the rugby in Paris.
The Harare Sports Club crowd really enjoying the festivities out here. There's been some wonderful cricket. And this man, Ricky Ponting, has been superb. Oh, what a great effort there by Gavin Rennie, the 12th man. This one's skied by Ricky Ponting, and he chases us all the way back. Can't quite get to it.
He's just lofted by Ponting. Didn't he cleared the infield, and Gavin Rennie running back made a valiant attempt, but always very difficult diving when the ball's coming over your shoulder. Try to keep his eyes on it, but just eluding those hands. And that's over the top of Johnson. It slipped, and that's going to run all the way for 4. So really the Australians scoring freely now.
Ricky Ponting just taking some chances here. He just opens the face of the bat and just gets the top edge, whips over the top of Neil Johnson, who's standing like at a 3rd slip. And this is the missed chance by Gavin Rennie. Very good effort there, not quite getting his fingers to it, but a very good effort.
Straying down the leg side, swept away. I don't think Madondo's going to get there. He doesn't. So this is a very expensive over for Gary Brent. Once again, that's wide down the leg side and swept away on one knee by Ponting, and Madondo not able to cut it off.
Pretty expensive over, 10 so far off of this over. There, Ricky Ponting 73, just off 84 balls of 33 scoring shots.
Interesting that he's had 51, make that 52 dot balls in that innings.
Come on, boys, right to the end.
Ricky Ponting, certainly an aggressive player once he's in. Loves the ball short, loves to pull the ball anything short of a length and anything width outside of off stump.
Big appeal, but umpire Robinson will have nothing of it. So at the end of that Gary Brent over, 31 gone, Australia 159 for 1.
Thank you, Des. Australia going along quite comfortably. Michael Bevan, the forehand top spin, smash past the man at the net. And Michael Bevan not in position, but so confident is he with this pitch, and it's played really well today. An easy boundary.
Rennie trying to bowl a slow one, but not well enough disguised. Bevan's able to do what he will with this. Just hit it hard was the instruction. Hit it as hard as you can.
Rennie to Bevan. And that's another boundary, and that now gives Ponting and Bevan a record partnership for the second wicket at Harare. 119 was the previous against Sri Lanka by Mahanama and Ranatunga, and this one now goes to 123 with that lovely classical left-hander's cover drive.
Well, the total fairly racing away now. Both batsmen have got the measure of the pitch. There's not much to trouble them. Michael Bevan most of the way around the wicket. Good square. And he's scoring at a merry dance.
Both these men have now faced 86 balls. Michael Bevan was very slow to start with, giving as much strike as he could to Ponting, and he has whacked that. That's 4-1 bounce, a long boundary out there, and just a real short arm jolt by Ponting, and he goes to 77.
Once the ball starts to get old, Rennie without swing loses impact, and this one just short of a length. Ponting very strong, beautifully hit.
Just to give you an indication as to how well Australia's played in the last 10 balls. 2-4-4-4414. So Rennie's got no protection down straight. And come on, says Ponting for 2, and he looks for 2 and gets it. Great running by the Australians. So the World Cup champions are in good one-day form again.
Well, this is so well placed. The fielder right on the boundary. Ponting very quick between the wickets. All he does is tickle it off his legs, and he's got another 2.
He's hit that hard as well. So Ponting goes along to 80, and at the end of the 32nd over, it's 175 for 1. In the air and boundary. Close to mid-off. It was a good over, just 1 run from it, and even the last ball produced a half false shot from Michael Bevan, but it's gone to the boundary, and Australia just 15 runs short of victory. Last ball of Brent's over. Bevan not quite getting the elevation he would have liked. Enough elevation to get over Gavin Rennie's head, but he was trying to hit it a lot higher than that. So now the mathematics are that Ponting needs 16, Australia needs 15.
This didn't clear Gav Rennie by much. Not sure he saw it early enough to have a go at it. He's in the field, of course, doing 12th men duties for Neil Johnson.
been a very good 3 days, this one-day series for Australia. Winning the test match on this ground, in fact winning the test match this day last week in 4 days. And then winning the subsequent 3 one-day of the Ford series. So it's been a very good couple of weeks for Australia after losing the series 1-0 in Sri Lanka. After being 69 for 7 at lunch on the first day of the first test in Kandy a couple of months ago. It'll be a distant memory for everybody but probably Ponting, who really came of age in that series. His ability to play Mutara Muraliduran was very good. His footwork here against the spinners, he's happy to leave the crease. He has been the star of the last 2 months for Australia. And a lot of people back in Australia who have supported this young man will be well pleased at what he has learnt in the last 5 or 6 or 7 weeks. Man of the series in Sri Lanka. And I would assume, Andy, if there was a man of the series for this little part of the leg as well, he would have got that as well.
He certainly played very well. There's been a school of thought that when he was left out of the Australian side, both one day and test for a while, that it wasn't the right thing to do, build the youngster through. That's from the outside point of view.
Bevan can hit boundaries to square leg, and that is why he waits for the right line and length, and he has clubbed that over square leg. So the end of the 36 over, 191 for 1.
So this is the delivery from Grant Flower that Bevan gets pad right across off stump and just smashes it in front of square. Great shot.
Wow, ball GB, good.
And to enable David Hooks to prepare for the presentations, I'm joined by Carl Rackerman.
Thanks, Andy. Australia motoring along comfortably, so that would be an understatement. Ponting and Bevan having done a wonderful job here. And in the 37th over, now just 9 runs from victory, which will make a clean sweep of this Ford one-day international series. Series of 3 matches, the first in Bulawayo on Thursday, and now yesterday and today here at Harare Sports Ground.
Gibbs, get the ball. Work, Mike.
Oh, there's still some fight in Gary Brent. This one hit back straight and hard. He's prepared to try and gather and show an aggressive attitude at least. But it's all in vain.
Another single there. Just run down to third man. Three in the ring on either side, that is. 6 in total, that beating the one near square leg on the onside, and Australia get 2.
Well, Bevan's just waiting for the ball to be in the right area. He's not prepared to risk anything, and why should he? He's going to have a nice little asterisk against his name if he can just whip the ball away off his legs and otherwise protect his wicket. Comes down here, hits the ball hard. Ron Flower fields very well.
Australia needs 6 runs to win. That won't be 6. It's down towards the wide mid-on boundary. Andy Whittle's out there. And just a single. Bevan obviously had 6 in mind as he hit the ball high. Just got it a little on the inside of the bat, didn't middle it.
So Ponting will take strike. Hasn't had much of the strike in the last few overs. Obviously settled that he wasn't going to get 100 because time wouldn't permit. As the 38th over comes to a close, Australia 196 for 1.
Gary Brent to Michael Bevan, and Bevan gets that away square. It was short outside the off stump. Great save by Andy Whittle on the boundary. So he certainly saved 4 there, kept it to 2.
Bevan's able to get this past the right hand of Murray Goodwin behind point. Andy Whittle slide diving. Legs don't quite, just don't quite go over the rope, so he's saved 4.
Conditions a little dim out there now. It's come over quite overcast and looks like it might even be raining over the back of the golf course. Shouldn't affect the game. Be somewhat ironic if rain caused an interruption at this stage. Another single to Bevan. Would have been interesting, and it must be a thought going through Alistair Campbell's mind, what might have been yesterday and today had he been the skipper to win the toss and be able to bowl first and have the best batting conditions in the afternoon in both days.
So just the one run for victory now, and Alistair Campbell will make sure that he has most, if not all, his fielders on the one. Gary Brent to bowl from the golf course end.
Oh, ball, G. Ball, Matty.
An encouragement from Andy Flower behind the wicket right till the end. That you'd expect from the keeper. Directing angles and keeping the bowlers going.
Quick single taken, there could be a run out. Ricky Ponting is home safely, and that ends the game. Bevan just steering that wide of the backward point. Wide, should I say finer, wide to his right, and they set off for a quick single. So that finishes the match and wraps up the series 3-0 to Australia, having won in Bulawayo on Thursday and here yesterday and today. Zimbabwe made 200 this morning for 9, Australia replying with 201 for 1. So Australia win by 9 wickets with 11 overs to spare and cruise to a comfortable victory. Ponting and Bevan remaining unbeaten at the end when the 200 total was passed. Ponting not out 87 and Bevan not out 77, and they batted very, very well. 44 runs the opening partnership between Ponting and Gilchrist. Ponting, of course, opening the batting because Mark Waugh was resting today, and Bevan elevated to bat number 3, then had a partnership of 157 unbroken with Ricky Ponting. A spare a thought for Darren Lehman, who flew from Australia to play in these one-day games. Didn't play in the first 2, listed to bat 7 today, didn't get a bat. Zimbabwe bowling, not terribly good reading. Brent tried hard, 10 overs for 44. And the 1 wicket to Mutindera, but he was expensive, as was Rennie. So the match is now completed. End the series. Zimbabwe 200 for 9. Australia wrapping up this 3rd match. End the series 3-0, 201 for 1.
Alistair, it's been a pretty tough time for you. We can't ask the same questions we asked each of the other 2 nights, but when you sit down in the cool, cold light of tomorrow, what can you learn as a player and as a captain of the team?
Well, I mean, Australia have played really good cricket, and they've played really hard cricket. They've showed that they are a world-class team, and you know, every individual player on our side can learn a bit from their individual players. You know, Steve Waugh's Test match innings, the bowling of McGrath and Fleming in particular, Mark Waugh's batting. You know, every individual can take a bit out of what they've seen here and put it into their own games and make themselves better players.
You've got a lot of cricket coming up in the next couple of months or so. I guess that's the one positive to come out of this. You've played the best side in the world in both the Test match and the one-day arena, and you must learn from that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're going to, obviously it's been a harsh lesson, and, 3 convincing defeats in the one-days and the Test match. And, but we can take a bit of heart from the Test match. We had caught a couple of catches. We were, set them 150, 200 in the second innings, which might have been an interesting game. But we're just comprehensively outplayed in the one-day games. And, we've going to play probably the second best Test team in the world in South Africa now. So there's going to be another few hard lessons to learn there. But hopefully, we can set the record straight there and make a better bit of a game of it.
Alistair, yourself personally, how are you coping?
Well, I'm struggling a bit at the moment, but I suppose in adversity comes your true character, your true self, and I've just got to keep persevering and keep working on the right things. I've had tremendous support from the team, and if I can do that, then hopefully it'll come right for me, and hopefully I can do something against South Africa.
You were hurt in the Test match by not having a leg spinner available. You were hurt in the one-day series by losing your 2 best faster bowlers. Will everybody be available for next Friday's Test match in South Africa?
Unfortunately not. I think Heath Streak is still struggling a bit with an injury, but hopefully we can get him fit, but it looks a bit doubtful at this stage. But Brian Strang is there, and Adam Huckle, we're still trying to coax him out of retirement, and hopefully he'll be available for the second Test against South Africa here.
Well, you must be pleased with the crowds that turned up in Bulawayo and here. It's a credit to the supporters of your cricket.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been huge. To fill those 2 stands there now to probably double the capacity of this ground and to have it full is magnificent. And they've supported us. We haven't played particularly well, and it would have been nice to give them a victory, but that wasn't to be. And hopefully they'll stick through us through the rough times now, and hopefully we can turn things around and give them some victories in the near future.
Alistair, good luck next Friday.
Thank you very much, David.
Alistair Campbell has been in good spirits. He's been very stoic in the way that he's handled himself, particularly in view of Zimbabwe's defeats. Well, Mr. Howard Gardner, a former Rhodesian cricketer, has been named the match adjudicator for the man of the match, and a pretty tough call, I would have thought, given that one side won by 9 wickets. Howard, you would have had some thinking to do today.
We did, David, yes, but it was another really professional approach from the whole of the Australian side to record another comprehensive win and a clean slate for the whole series. I think that Steve Waugh and his men have got to be congratulated on their total application and also their motivation throughout this tour, and something that I think that the Zimbabweans can learn from. Today, they started off with a wonderful bowling display led by Glenn McGrath. 2 for 18 in 10 overs in one-day cricket is an excellent performance, and suitably backed up by a wonderful display in the field. In the batting, as you can see, Michael Bevan with a 70 and a very stylish 80 from Ricky Ponting recorded what in the end was a fairly easy win. From the Zimbabwe side, not much to report about in the field. I don't think that this bowling attack of Zimbabwe's got on top of the very strong Australian batting any time during this tour. But in the batting display, coming in at number 4 and keeping his head while everything was falling apart around him, and ending up with a score of 99 against one of the most competent bowling sides in the world, has earned Andy Flower the Man of the Match award.
Andy, congratulations. You played really well. Speaking to a number of the Australian players, they would like to see you at the top of the order opening the batting. Would you like to get back to that spot in one-day cricket?
I'm not sure. In one-day cricket, I think it's possible to open the batting and keep wicket. But to be honest, our openers have done really well over the last year, 18 months. Neil Johnson and Grant Flower, and I think they'll be the long-term opening partnership in one-day cricket for Zimbabwe.
99 not out. You join a select group of about 4 others. Did you expect the 4 off your batting partner at the end to mess you up?
I'm glad he hit it. That was what we were talking about. He had to look for the boundary as well. To be honest, I lost count of the balls in the last over. There was quite a lot happening. I thought there might be another ball sneaking my way, but no, it didn't happen.
Is that as well as you've played for a while?
It hasn't been a great series for me, so it was really nice to get some runs on the board against this side. I was happy with the way I played this morning. Yeah.
Looking forward to next Friday?
Yeah. Obviously, South Africa's got one of the better attacks in world cricket, and if you get runs against them, you can be proud of yourself, and hopefully we can pull off something.
Well, Andy, congratulations. To collect your cheque of $1,000 US from Mr. Alan McDonald, who is the Managing Director of Julie Ford. So $1,000 goes to Andy Flower. The winner of the Ford one-day series, just like the winner of the Test series sponsored by Ford, is Australia, and Steve Waugh is the Australian captain, and he wins 3-0. Steve, I know we've said it on a couple of occasions, but the winning is a habit theme really seems to be going through the Australian rooms. Today you were able to leave out two previous man of the matches in Damien Fleming and Mark Waugh.
Yeah, we've got respect for the one-day game and respect for our own performances, and that showed through today. We played really well. We had the goal of winning all 3 games here, and I thought we played up to a high standard.
Steve, what about the relationship between the two sides? It looks to be very good. We read it a lot and hear a lot about at the highest level now. Sides don't get a chance to mix. There's too much travelling, but it seems to be a pretty good mix.
Yeah, we've had a really good time. We've enjoyed ourselves. Obviously, it helps when you're playing well and winning. It's a lot easier to enjoy yourself. But yeah, we found that the two sides have got on really well. There's been a good camaraderie out there on the field, and it's played in the right spirit. So it's been a good couple of weeks.
Good facilities, Steve?
Magnificent. The wicket here is fantastic. As good as anywhere in the world. I think the one in Bulawayo are the same. So we'd love to play on those sort of wickets everywhere.
Well, Steve, Zimbabwe take on South Africa next Friday. Next Friday week, you take on Pakistan, who arrived in Australia today. A big summer for Australia, Pakistan, followed by India. Yeah,
it's going to be real tough for us in Australia. Good test for us. The test match side, we've been reasonably consistent, but we'd like to play better. And from a one-day point of view, we want to stay #1 in the world. So we've got a high standards to look up to.
We know about Glenn McGrath, we know about Shane Warne, but you must be pleased over the last 2 months, from the start of the Sri Lankan tour to now, the improvement in Ricky Ponting.
Yeah, he's had a great tour. He's really matured as a player and I think as a person. And I think this tour will be the making of him. And he's, I think, the future of Australian cricket. So he's got a lot to live up to, but I think he's capable of doing that.
Steve, congratulations.
Thank you.
Steve Waugh, and collect your cheque, Steve. Don't go away. A cheque for $2,000 US from Mr. Alan McDonald from Julie Ford. So Australia winning the series 3-0.